The doorbell rang at 9:17 in the evening. I wasn't expecting anyone. I opened the door. A man stood there, mid-30s, suitcase beside him, phone in hand. He smiled politely. "Hi, I have a check-in for tonight. Room 2, Victor's place." I stared at him. "I'm sorry?" He turned his phone toward me. "A booking confirmation. My address. My house. Photos of our spare bedroom. The blue lamp my wife picked out. The white curtains she hung last spring. Listed on Airbnb. For $85 a night. My name is Victor Caldwell. I'm 34 years old." And at 9:17 in the evening, a complete stranger showed me that my wife had been renting out a room in my house. Without telling me, I looked past him toward the staircase. Upstairs, I could hear my wife humming while getting ready for bed. Perfectly calm. Perfectly normal. I turned back to the man with the suitcase. "There's been a mistake," I said quietly. "I'll cover your hotel tonight." He left confused. I closed the door slowly, and I stood in my own hallway wondering how long this had been going on. Let me tell you about Rachel first. We had been married for 5 years. Bought this house together 3 years ago. 4 bedrooms, more space than 2 people needed. The spare room had been sitting empty since we moved in. Rachel was practical, organized, the kind of woman who had a solution for everything before you even identified the problem. She managed our household budget, paid bills, tracked expenses. I trusted her completely with all of it because she was genuinely better at it than me. 6 months ago, she suggested decorating the spare room. "Just to make it feel like a proper home," she said. "New furniture, fresh paint, that blue lamp, white curtains." I thought she was nesting. I paid for everything. I even helped her hang the curtains on a Saturday morning while she made coffee downstairs. I had decorated a hotel room, for strangers, with my own hands, and I had no idea. After the man with the suitcase left, I sat in the living room in the dark for a long time. I didn't go upstairs immediately. I opened my phone, searched Victor's Place Airbnb. It appeared instantly. Superhost status. 47 reviews. 4.9 stars. Cozy private room in beautiful home. Host Rachel is wonderful. Very clean. Great location. Will definitely return. 47 reviews. I scrolled slowly. Dates going back 14 months. 14 months. I clicked on the pricing. $85 weeknights. $110 weekends. Special rates for weekly stays. I opened the calculator. Conservative estimate, 3 bookings per month average. 14 months. Somewhere between $12,000 and $18,000. I put my phone face down on the coffee table. Upstairs, the humming had stopped. The bedroom light clicked off. She had gone to sleep. The next morning, I did what I always do when something doesn't make sense. I said nothing, and I started looking. Rachel left for her yoga class at 7:45. I had 1 hour. First, I went to the spare room. Fresh towels folded on the bed. A small welcome card on the nightstand. A basket with shampoo, conditioner, soap. A printed house rules card in a plastic sleeve. Welcome to Victor's Place. Checkout is 11 a.m. Quiet hours after 10 p.m. Help yourself to coffee in the kitchen. Victor's Place. She had used my name. I photographed everything. Then I sat at the kitchen table and opened my laptop. The Airbnb profile had been created 14 months ago. Profile photo, Rachel smiling. Bio, warm and welcoming host. Love making guests feel at home. I checked our joint bank account carefully. The Airbnb payouts weren't there, which meant she had a separate account I didn't know about. I called my bank quietly, asked if any accounts were linked to our address under her name. There was one, opened 14 months ago. Current balance, $22,400. I leaned back in my chair slowly. This wasn't occasional extra income. This was a system. Rachel came home at 9:15, glowing from yoga. She kissed my cheek and asked what I wanted for breakfast. I watched her move through the kitchen, completely comfortable, completely relaxed. That afternoon, while she was on a call, I checked her phone quickly. Not messages, just the Airbnb app notification history. Upcoming booking Thursday. 2 nights. Guest name Michael T. 3 days from now. She had a guest arriving in 3 days and she hadn't said a single word to me. I also found something else. A Notes app folder labeled House Account. Monthly income tracking. Booking dates. Guest ratings. Maintenance costs she had deducted. She had been running this like a business. A business inside my house. Without my name on any of it. I put her phone back exactly where I found it. Then I called a property attorney. Quietly. From my car. If a spouse lists a jointly owned property on a short-term rental platform without the other spouse's consent, I asked, what are the legal implications? The attorney didn't hesitate. Significant ones, she said. I spent the next 2 days preparing. I documented everything. Screenshots of the listing. All 47 reviews with dates. The separate bank account balance. The Notes app income tracking. The upcoming Thursday booking. I sent it all to the property attorney. She confirmed 3 things. 1. Listing a jointly owned property without spousal consent violated our mortgage agreement terms. 2. Income generated from joint property belonged to both parties legally. 3. $22,400 in a separate account was marital income she had not disclosed. I asked her to prepare a formal demand letter. Then I did one more thing. I contacted Airbnb directly. Reported the listing as unauthorized use of jointly owned property. Submitted the mortgage documents showing dual ownership. The listing was suspended within 24 hours. That evening Rachel came downstairs with her phone looking confused. My Airbnb account has been suspended, she said carefully. Some kind of ownership dispute report. She was watching my face. I kept it completely still. That's strange, I said. What Airbnb account? Silence. The performance was over. She sat down across from me slowly. For a long moment neither of us spoke. Then she started explaining. I just wanted something of my own. The mortgage payments, the bills, I contribute nothing directly. I wanted to feel useful. I slid the bank statement across the table. $22,400, I said quietly. 14 months. 47 guests. In our home. While I slept. Her voice dropped. I was going to tell you. When? I asked. After guest number 50? After $30,000? I didn't think you'd understand. I leaned forward calmly. I wouldn't have understood, I said. Or you wouldn't have control. She looked away. The attorney's letter was next. I placed it in front of her. This outlines the legal claim to half of all undisclosed marital income, I said. Plus damages for unauthorized commercial use of jointly mortgaged property. Her face changed. You're not serious. I'm completely serious, I replied. But here's what I'm offering instead. Full transfer of the $22,400 into our joint account. The listing stays down permanently. And we actually talk, about whatever made you feel like you needed to hide this from me. She stared at the letter for a long time. Then she nodded. Once. Quietly. The money was transferred the next morning. The Airbnb account was permanently closed. We did talk. For the first time in years, properly. She wasn't malicious. She was invisible. Or at least that's how she had started to feel. No income of her own. No financial independence. A house she lived in but felt like she didn't own. I understood that. What I didn't understand, what I still don't fully understand, is how 14 months passed without a single honest conversation. We spent a year building a wall out of silence and small secrets. She decorated a room I paid for and turned it into something that was entirely hers. And I walked past that closed door every single day and never asked what was behind it. Trust doesn't break in one moment. It erodes in the space between what we notice and what we choose not to say. The spare room is empty again now. No blue lamp. No welcome card. No basket of shampoo for strangers. Just a closed door. And 2 people learning how to talk through it. People ask me if I'm angry. Honestly, I was. But anger was never the most useful thing in that room. The most useful thing was the question I should have asked 14 months earlier. What do you need that you're not getting? For words. Could have saved us everything.